Hey, what is happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a pair of kicks. It's a collaboration between New Balance and Bodega. This is actually probably my favorite New Balance pickup of the year, and I am just blown away by how dope these kicks are. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Age of Discovery New Balance Bodega 9060s. I always start by going over the box. This packaging is really dope. It is so cold out here. I don't know if you can tell, I still have frost on my lawn, but it's so cold out here I can't really feel my hands. So I'm gonna review the packaging inside. All right, y'all, so I like doing my reviews outside, but it is so cold. So for showing you all the packaging, I'm gonna do this from the comfort of my warm kitchen. But you can see that the box is really dope looking. It looks like the top is like the bottom of like a Coliseum pillar or something, and obviously it's got the New Balance logo there on it, but it just looks like a real cloudy sky or something. It's blue when you see all these clouds around there. On the side of it, you see it has some Bodega branding, but just a really cool looking box. Even the outside of it's cool. There's a look at the tag. It reads New Balance Bodega 9060. This is a size 10. I think retail was $180 on these, which isn't bad for this shoe. And then as we open the lid, you can see more of that kind of cloudy sky theme underneath the lid. And it had 2 extra laces on top, 1 set of sail, and these even have Bodega branding on them. And then there's a lighter brown or tan color, and that also has Bodega branding. And then the outer paper is more of that kind of sky looking print. And then the paper underneath of that has more of those kind of broken Coliseum looking pillars with the New Balance branding, and there's also Bodega branding. And then maybe my favorite touch on the packaging is this image down here in the bottom of the box. And I didn't realize it at first, but that's actually removable. It's kind of like a poster. But this actually has all kinds of crazy details in it. Looks like there's a cherub up there with a box of shoes. And then on that building back there, it says Bodega. You can see all these people are looking upward. But it's just some real dope artwork. I love extras like this. But that's it for the packaging. Let's get back to the kicks. All right, and obviously that packaging is dope, but as dope as it is, it's got nothing on these. I am so crazy about these shoes. I always say that I'm a fan of different textures and different layers and that sort of thing. You definitely have too many textures to count on this pair, and the colors that they used are just perfect. I mean, these shoes came out so well. I don't have any critiques of these things. Like, a lot of times you would change 1 or 2 things. I think this is a perfect release. I really got to tip my hat to Bodega and New Balance. I'm a recent fan of the 9060. I've only had 1 other pair, but this is by far my favorite New Balance pickup of 2022. Up until now, my favorite New Balance pickup of this year was the Mirage Gray Protection Pack 2002Rs. I really love the 2002R, and overall it may still be my favorite New Balance silhouette, but this pair of shoes is really something special. I look at tons of pairs of kicks for the channel. I'm always looking at different pairs. This feels new, and I love it. I really don't know what else to say about it, but I really love this pair. They retailed for 180 bucks, and I think given the quality and just how phenomenal these things look, I think that's a really reasonable price. I haven't really looked to see if there's any resale on them. Every now and then there's a New Balance shoe that gets really expensive on the resale market,
And I could see this pair doing that. I could see this being a pair that before you know it, you look and they're selling for $300–400, because it, to me, is that good. You can see that the upper is kind of inspired by like a retro runner silhouette. And as I said on my first 9060 review, these layers and the shape and everything, and even the way the midsole is kind of chunky and it's got all these shapes coming out off of it, it really gives me vibes similar to the Yeezy 500. But if I had to pick one, I prefer these over the Yeezy 500s. And I really like the 500s, but I just think this is better executed and it's a more interesting silhouette to me. And for the most part, 500s were always like real monochromatic, and I think the way this like burgundy along with the brown and yellow and tan and blue, I just think these colors go together so well. I just can't get enough of these. I really love this pair. Starting with the outsole, you can see that even this is interesting looking. We have these little traction pads here, and that's in a nice gum material. But then within that, we have all these little diamond shapes, light blue, purple, and yellow. And you'll see all those colors on the upper of the shoe as well. There at the midfoot, you can see some New Balance branding, and that's like a nice foam. And you can see that throughout the outsole of the shoe, kind of peeking through where these areas of traction are. It feels really, really grippy, and it feels like it's got really, really hard rubber on the outsole of it. But then coming up from that outsole, you can see that we've got different shades of kind of khaki and gray on the midsole. And again, that just feels like a nice, really dense foam. It says it's got some absorbed cushioning there. And 9060s are very, very comfortable shoes. I like going true to size on 9060s. It works well, even though I have a wide foot. But you also have some more dense foam here, and that's like in a white color. And then on the front, you see this gum outsole wrap up, and you've got this nice yellow N. I think that's a cool little accent. But then the real star of the show, I think, is all these materials that they used on this upper. We've got some really nice, it's either a short-haired suede or a nubuck. And most of these overlays are this blue nubuck material, but you can see how it's got these little wrinkles in it. You get a lot of back and forth action on it. It has a lot of life, and I'm telling you, it doesn't get more premium feeling than this, at least in my book. But you've got this beautiful shade of blue for these overlays, and that's over top of some really, really hairy suede. We've got a brown color here on the toe box that you see peeking through, and that gives it like a neat bordered effect. And again, it's just such a different texture from one material to the next. But I really like that fuzzy brown suede. And then we get another fuzzy suede in like a tan color here at the top of the tongue. We've got little accents of it on the back. And then on the heel tab area here where we have that purple New Balance branding embroidered on, we've got more of that tan hairy suede. There's also a little hit of what feels like a tan nubuck here on the sides, and it looks like it's got a bunch of little perforations. And I just love these colors. And then for the base of the shoe, it looks like we've got a nice light blue mesh. Feels like a really, really breathable material. Feels like it's good quality, and it looks beautiful. I love that shade of blue. Blue is my favorite color, and I love earth tones, so everything about this shoe I'm just digging. It looks like the knit of this mesh is, it's got kind of small openings, if that makes sense. But then on the inside of the shoe, the mesh has a different knit to it, and it looks like it's like more porous, if that makes any sense. But there you can see on the toe box, it's kind of close together, the knit is. And then on the inside, it looks like it's further apart. But again, that just gives it a neat texture, Makes them really, really interesting looking. And you see more of that as you go back the shoe. The shoe does have areas of reflective, such as this N on the side, and it's neat because the border is one type of reflective and then the actual N itself is a different kind. The border really, really glows, but the N section of it, you kind of have to catch the light just right, but it really does light up whenever it hits at the right angle. But you've got reflective there for the New Balance branding, and then this triangle here on the side of the eye stays, and there, that's also reflective. And then down at the base of the tongue where you see some more New Balance branding embroidered on in that burgundy color, that's reflective behind that. The base of the tongue looks like it's a different type of mesh, and that's actually in a brown color underneath those laces. But it looks nice, has a nice feel, and it seems really breathable. This lace loop is some really fuzzy, this doesn't feel like suede, this actually feels like a synthetic material for that part, but most of this hairy stuff is a very hairy suede. But then, like I stated before, we've got more tan hairy suede at the top of the tongue, and then that yellow hit with the New Balance 9060 branding. I like how on the outside we have this reflective N, but on the inside we have this burgundy N that just consists of like parallel lines. I think that's a cool touch. And I really like this heel anchor area back here. That looks like it's just like a deep blue color, but it's kind of transparent plastic, and I just think that's a cool accent. Up at the top we have two little plastic accents in that burgundy color for these top eyelet holes, and it came with brown flat shoelaces in it. They have the purple aglets with white Bodega branding there on the end. Along with those laces that came in it, they also gave us a more grayish brown pair of flat laces. That kind of matches that really fuzzy suede at the top of the tongue and some of the gray accents. And then they also gave us like a sail or cream color. I kind of like the laces that are in it, but I think all of them would look good. I might mess around and put these grayish brown laces in, because I think that would look really nice matching it to the top of the tongue. The sock liner is more of like a grayish brown color, and that feels like it's just like a nice fleece material. But again, it's just a nice earth tone that complements the rest of the shoe. And then the insole feels really, really padded. It's in that burgundy color, and we've got New Balance and Bodega branding down on there. Not sure if you can see that or not. And this might sound like an exaggeration, but this is one of my favorite pickups of the year. I think these are incredible. I think New Balance and Bodega needs to be commended on this release. And this might be my favorite New Balance that I have in my collection now. I just think these are that good. But let me know what you all think about these, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.